Capitol Hill, Congressman Matt Gaetz. He serves on a number of key committees, including Judiciary, Budget, and Armed Services. Congressman, good to have you with us. We have heard all sorts of, in some cases, conflicting stories from those who were at the meeting with the President, the Speaker of the House yesterday. We're hearing all sorts of stories that could lead us to imagine that neither bill would pass if the vote were taken today, but it's going to be taken tomorrow. Where do you think we're headed?
I'm deeply frustrated, Lou, that this legislation has not been reviewed in the committee process, that members of Congress have not had the opportunity to check with people in our communities to really understand the impact on people's lives. But, Lou, you were news today on the floor of the House of Representatives when there were some trying to get a bunch of people to support this purported compromise immigration bill. The rumor was that Lou Dobbs was going to come out and support it. And so maybe I need to ask you, Lou, have you come out and publicly stated your support for a bill that seems to remain in flux as to the details and component parts? You know,
I'm old school, Congressman. As you know, I prefer to read bills before I'm asked to sign anything or even exceed verbally. So I don't think that I would be in that list for either bill. But that I'm an unimportant observer of the process that is yours. And process seems to be what the Congress is all about these days. The leadership bill, that is the bill written by Paul Ryan and the K Street lobbyists, the Chamber of Commerce, the Koch brothers, the Business Roundtable, and Wall Street, that seems to be the one that, imagine this, your speaker favors and will be pushing tomorrow.
I don't even know what's in it, Lou. I mean, as late as this afternoon.
You're asking a great deal of a democracy, Congressman. I think sometimes you presume too much.
I must. I mean, I'm with you. I think that we promised the American people if we had Republican control, we would actually read legislation before voting on it and forcing it on the American people. And right now, the target is moving. And I want the opportunity to be able to really review this and understand which pieces are going to help us restore the rule of law. Are we going to be able to crack down on sanctuary cities? Will we end this stupid visa lottery? Will we have the opportunity to ensure that our border wall is built like the American people were promised by this president? If the entire focus is on how fast we can get amnesty for people, that's not what we promised, and I think the American people expect from us to be very strong against illegal immigration for the benefit of this country.
I can't believe that the White House or any of the president's advisors could ignore the fact that what they are being asked to do by the Illuminati of K Street and those special interests is to move 1.8 million people to the front of the line, something that everyone has said they would not do, but now they seem to be urgently headed in that direction. Secondly, this president was elected not only to build a wall, but to make America great, now keep America great, and I can't for the life of me understand how it keeps America great to push people to the front of the line who have violated our laws, who are not part of a meretricious immigration system that the president wants to put in place, and who have, in fact, in point of fact, simply lined up with the left and the elitist globalists to fight exactly this president and his policies.
Well, and, you know, the American taxpayer cannot be expected to pay for every human being that has a compassionate story in the world. There are people all over who do, and frankly, I think that we ought to focus on Americans first. That was the theme of this last election, and when you don't end chain migration, when you allow the parents of DACA children to have a path to legal status, those were the people who broke the law that put us in a bad position in the first place by bringing children across the border and committing the crime of illegal entry. If we can legalize those folks, and then they start to be able to pull on the chain and bring even more people over, then we've undermined our entire argument. So again, I don't know the extent to which those provisions will be in or out of the bill, but that's the problem. As I'm talking to you right now, Lou, the Rules Committee is changing the legislation, and we could be voting on it as soon as tomorrow. This is no way to run a railroad, and frankly, if we don't have true hearings on this issue, I think everything will just be a Band-Aid to get us from one crisis or one news cycle to the next, rather than dealing with the root problem with illegal immigration, and that is that we are building magnets in this country that draw people across our borders illegally when we give entitlements to illegals and when we don't have E-Verify to hold employers accountable.
Illegal immigrants afforded the same social safety net as American citizens, drawn to this country because in most cases they are uneducated, they are unskilled, and corporate America desperately needs them in certain roles. But how this makes America great, that should be the first test question, period. And the second question should be, if everybody's so doggone smart about immigration, riddle me this. I've said for 2 decades that you cannot control immigration if you can't control your borders.
Yes.
If someone would defeat that straightforward little slice of logic, I would be glad to sign on to whatever the plan might be, but I would appreciate the respect to the American people, the middle class, to whom this president has promised so much and delivered so much. Our middle class is growing again. Wages are rising. But this looks to me like a step straight backwards. To you, the last word.
Well, you know, you're absolutely right. The low-energy amnesty bill that we may be asked to vote on is certainly not in concert with the principles and the ideals that you laid out. I came here to vote for a border wall, to crack down on sanctuary cities, to end chain migration. If I get the chance to do that tomorrow, that's what I'm going to do, but I'm certainly not going to be standing for any low-energy amnesty bill.
Good for you. I love it. Low energy amnesty. But we know we don't like low energy, don't we?
That's right, Lou.
Matt Gaetz. Congressman, thank you very much. Great to have you with us.
Mm-hmm.
Up next.